Hi everyone. So this is going to be my training video regarding the readings that we did for this week. I'll be talking about motivation, on-the-job training, web-based learning, mentorship, and then I'll be finishing with leadership development. So to start off, we talk about motivation when it comes to training, and I found this to be honestly like the most crucial thing for the beginning of everything because the textbook actually states that motivation is the driver energy that compels people to act with energy and persistence towards goals. So the book challenges us to think deeper by reminding us that if learning is a process, then motivation is needed from beginning to end, which is really true because when we think about it, and we actually don't have to think really hard about it. It's just the fact that we're students taking this master's program now. But what's the motivation that you have to master your craft in public administration? Is it a better position? Is it a better pay? Is it possibly like other opportunities that you have with the public sector? So the article that I found interesting here was this one in regards to training and work motivation in regards to the public sector. And basically what this study or this article shows was that training and motivation are factors in the public sector. So combining high quality training with strong motivation actually produces superior employee performances versus just leaving those particular two factors as isolated trainings. Effective training strengthens employee self-efficiency, and it creates confidence that boosts motivation and accelerates task execution. So the study actually highlights that training as a key driver of career growth enhances work loyalty and outcomes. So the way that I'm looking at this as well for the training videos that I'm going to be looking into for myself for the department that I'm creating is that if we're going to do this job, we're going to be motivated to want to do this job great and motivated to know that we can continue to grow from this job and that there is opportunities to become better and that there's opportunity to give feedback to let us know like, okay, what works and what doesn't work. So this leads to the next part of on the job training. Again, going back to what the book states is that this is a very common and if not the most common training that is offered in any organization. Hands-on training is certainly a helpful way of learning skills that one will do daily, especially if your job is fast-paced and it's ever-changing. It gives the opportunity to teach new hires through coaching methods or training current employees through a cross methods training to make them more versatile. So it's a super common practice for organizations that want to ensure that if someone is out for the day, that they're able to move their employees around to avoid feeling a slowdown in production. So this article focuses on how the company actually benefits because the research reveals that employees or that employee training offers a double payoff because traditional trainings, the models, they fail to account for the significant productivity uh, that managers experience when direct reports require less supervision. So the study indicates that training increases frontline productivity by 10% and it boosts managerial efficiency by 3 to 8% by reducing help related inquiries with this management time savings because nearly 45% of all the program's financial benefits come from just on the job training. So the question that this article actually asks is if you double everyone's skill, do you need as many managers? Well, most probably would say no. So with the training that I should be developing for my department is what can I use for hands-on training? What kind of software are we going to be using? What kind of paperwork are we going to look at? What is the process? What is the procedure to make sure that we are doing this job efficiently? Next, we actually would be looking at web-based learning. So let me just lower this here and let that because this looks like it's a video. But in regards to this video, it talks a lot about the benefits of e-learning. So to go back, again, referring to what the textbook mentions to us, is that it points out something that all of us here at one point have known to be true for a very long time. Web-based learning has simply become the preference for many people, including organizations who can utilize technology to substitute for training versus actually sending someone out to a class or a lecture. So we know it's not just true at work, but we also see it here for ourselves because we're students doing online learning even right now. For many of us, we can relate to the fact that it's really convenient for us to be able to just study on our own time and at our own pace. So, much like us, employers see this same benefit for their employees to train using web based learning. Unfortunately, the trade off, as the book mentioned, is that real time feedback from an actual instructor is not readily available. So, this video actually touched on 12 really good points, which I'll just give like a quick brief description of them. Number one, it saves money on trainers or travel and material. Two, it reduces time away from work because you could do it from your desk. Three, it can increase retention of information. Like it could be through games, it could be through like pop quizzes. Like most people are probably used to seeing games where you earn like little trophies and such. It offers just in time availability because it's always available. Five, it offers ongoing access to resources because again, it's always available as many times as you need it. Six, it guarantees a risk free environment because you have no judgment for not understanding something right away. So you're not always having to raise your hand or ask questions and such. But seven, it encourages collaboration amongst all the employees or in the employers. Eight, it's flexible because learners can determine what works for them. Nine, it can be rolled out as to many learners as necessary. And the beneficial part is it can be in any language. 10, it can provide real-time feedback for knowledge checks. So that's a little different from what I mentioned earlier in regards to a person not being available because this one does it through like the quizzes and knowledge checks. And 11, it ensures consistency and standardization because everyone gets the same training. And 12, it's really just better for the environment because you just have that availability to do it. And then next, we talk about mentorship. So some people credit actually their successes to mentorship at the job um, because you can learn from those who have been at the organization for some time and they can be your go-to for learning for questions with difficult issues and they help the employee develop. So you build a trust with that mentor and you can go to them with confidence because they help an employee develop both professionally and personally. So the book mentions that failures from employees come from failure to cultivate mentoring relationships. It's a proven method to develop employees and contribute to their growth. So, this particular article was really interesting because it emphasizes that mentorship is a critical tool for maintaining workforce stability as employee engagement, especially during economic uncertainty. So, it actually broke it down into three categories for mentorship. Number one, it anchors the employee during uncertainty because 54% of employees with a mentor feel more strongly motivated to persevere career hardships and budget cuts compared to 35% of them who navigate challenges alone. Two, there's a difference between mentorship and sponsorship. They both act differently. Mentoring centers around internal guidance, knowledge sharing, and emotional support to help employees navigate their daily tasks, while sponsorship requires explicit public advocacy where the leaders use their organizational leverage to mention somebody's name in like a decision making room and directly push for their upward advancement. And then three, mentorship is designed for maximum business impact because mentors are neutral and they're not managers. So this is along with the e-learning, this goes hand in hand because mentorship provides the moral support and the ease of the e-training provides the convenience of being able to learn things at someone's own pace. So this is going to be very important as well for the development of my trainings. What videos can we put out there, and then as well as who can we put to really push and be a go-to for the person that's learning the position when the manager is not always readily available because of other tasks. And this leads to the last point of leadership development. Personally, I'm always one that's always seeking a position of leadership because I always look for the next opportunity to grow. But one thing that I notice from many places is that leadership classes are not always readily available or accessible unless you are already a leader. But I've always been a believer that a leader is someone who is looking to train their replacement. But too many people want to hold on to their position forever and feel threatened by those who could either replace them or surpass them. So, leadership is an important role for any organization because leadership is held to a higher standard of integrity, knowledge, and responsibility. So, training for leadership is crucial, not just for those who are already in it, but also for those who aspire to obtain it as well. So, the article in regards to improving leadership skills for emerging leaders, they focused a lot on an academic research about leadership, and they provided four different pillars for success when it comes to leadership, the way that they handle it. Number one, perception. It requires deeply analyzing the operational landscape and anticipating market changes. Two, process. It requires designing clear, actionable workforce or workflows to steer teams through organizational transformation. Three, people. We should recognize the motivations of others and tailor communication to match diverse perspectives. And then four, projection. Aligning personal values with a transparent corporate vision that inspires trust. So, how does that tie with my training as well? Is like everybody I would hope wants to move up. I wouldn't think that somebody is just there to keep the same position forever. The goal is to open opportunities. The goal is to develop people that seek leadership, that want to be leaders. And how do they do it? I've always said that the difference between a boss and a leader is that a boss gives the order and the leadership actually does it with their employee. They're at the front line with them. They're the first ones there to do it with them, and they're not afraid to roll up their sleeves and get their hands dirty with their frontline workers. So these are the things that I talked about that I really thought reflected more with me with the things that the book was talking about. Hopefully it resonates with some of you, and I look forward to the comments in the discussion board. Thank you.